Now, those drought conditions have been worsening throughout the last few weeks, and the heat and lack of rain have not been helping that either. The motion did not provide a reason for the request, and it does not have to. Both parties are allowed to request a new judge at any time, but only once per party. Now, we first told you at 6 that officers had responded to a shots fired call at the 3200 block of Dove Drive. That's right here off of Blue Ridge Road. She went on to add that while the result was not what she expected, she did wish Eric Schmidt well. She also added that she will never stop fighting for Missourians. KMU8's Eric Lovelace is live at the scene where CPD says this started as a shots fired call. Eric, what can you tell us? CPD says they believe individuals are involved in the homicide that happened on the city's north side earlier today. This is video from that scene. Now, that also includes revising all voter registration records digitally, so to ensure that all voters are in the right congressional district. And officials are advising some to change their plans for the upcoming holiday. Good evening, Mid-Missouri. I'm Blake Phillips. Thanks for joining me tonight. July 4th is exactly 1 week away, but some Mid-Missouri counties have already issued burn bans and firework bans. KMU8's Eric Lovelace is in the studio with which counties issued bans and why, Eric. All right, thanks, Eric. Now, those drought conditions have been worsening throughout the last few weeks, and the heat and lack of rain have not been helping that either. Now, let's bring in First Alert weathercaster Delaney Easter. Delaney, how long are these temperatures going to last? All right, thanks, Delaney. New today, police have now identified the victim in yesterday's shooting in North Columbia. CPD confirmed this afternoon 33-year-old Deshaun Joseph Houston was shot and killed yesterday on Dove Drive. Officers first responded to reports of shots fired near the 3200 block on Dove Drive earlier that afternoon. They also responded to a crashed car near Gibbs Road in connection to the incident. Later last night, CPD announced a warning that 4 men thought to be involved were armed and dangerous. Although some residents did not want to be identified for safety reasons, they did say the incident was jarring.
Once we figured out what had happened and what was going on, we were scared for the safety of our kids because my son was out riding his bike. We made our kids come in and shut the garage, which is totally not normal for us.
Police still do not have any suspects in custody, and they ask anyone with information to call the department. Meanwhile, the director of the Missouri Poison Control Center says she's expecting to see calls double in 2023, and that's because of the legalization of marijuana. So far this year, the center has seen an increased number of calls about small children accidentally consuming cannabis edibles. When kids consume edibles, they can experience rapid heart rate, trouble breathing, and even seizures. The center is working with community groups to increase awareness for parents, encouraging them keep edibles locked up and out of reach of small children. MU President Moon Choi has been elected to the SEC Executive Committee for the 2023 to 2024 school year. He starts July 1st, and the purpose of the SEC Executive Committee is to approve the annual operating budget of the conference, as well as oversee all financial decisions made by the conference. In 2025, Choi will start a 2-year term as vice president of the 7-member SEC committee. Well, if you remember yesterday, we told you about the shooting that occurred in Kansas City, which left 3 people dead and 5 more injured. We have more information on the man who shot fire and the charges he now faces. 26-year-old Kayvon Green was initially charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action on Monday. Today, those charges became several second-degree murder charges and a felony murder. However, this isn't Green's first offense. Green has several other charges.
Those charges involved a resisting arrest and a drug possession charge. Both of those are felonies. And those 2 felonies were brought to us through the Independence, Missouri Police Department.
The judge in this case issued no bond, so Green will remain in the custody at the Jackson County Jail. Also in Kansas City, teenager Ralph Yarl spoke on life after being shot. Yarl is the Missouri teen that was trying to pick up his siblings when he was shot in the head and arm in his own Kansas City neighborhood. Since the shooting, Yarl says he has experienced headaches, trouble sleeping, and difficulty concentrating. He says he does not have any feelings of hatred for the shooter, but that he believes he should be convicted for the alleged crimes. Coming up, the city of Columbia has asked residents that live in the southwest part of town to conserve water. Stay tuned to find out why. And the CDC has issued a new urgent warning about malaria. We'll tell you what that is about and more coming up.
KMUH's Blake Phillips spent the day learning about that tradition. So Blake, this year they gave out over 1,000 turkeys.
Yeah, Julie, well, the Powerhouse Community Development Corporation says that they gave out over 1,200 turkeys, with another 500 more being donated to other organizations. Now, today was the first part of a two-part event that's been a tradition here in Columbia for 25 years.
It's 10 o'clock, guys. It's time to start.
For 25 years, A Time to Give Thanks has helped keep food on the table for families in need. And people today were lined up as early as 7 a.m.
This just shows the need in the community. If people are willing to wait in line, get here 2 hours early, 3 hours early.
CEO Charles Stevenson says prices for dinners have soared, and he is seeing that impact right here in Columbia.
Something as simple as a can of green beans that I bought last year for 40, 50 cents or like $1.20. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it says there's a need here, and I feel good that we're able to impact and make a difference.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that food prices have increased 10.9%. That's from October 2021 to October 2022. Food at home prices have also increased 14.4% in that same period. With prices on the rise, Stevenson says this event would not be possible without donations.
Old Hawthorne Country Club has given a hefty donation, donated turkeys. The Rotary Club donates 50 turkeys to the event next week.
LaDawn Stevenson says that this turnout is bittersweet.
A lot of these families would not have a Thanksgiving dinner if it wasn't for us. If it wasn't for the fact that Miss Almeda Creighton started it, and now we get to continue it.
Stevenson says they're thankful for the work they've been able to do and hope to see it grow in the future.
We are all together, and as long as we work together, everything's going to come out okay.
So Blake, you mentioned that the project has two parts, so what's the next step?
Well, Julie, today's event was all about food distribution. Now, for people to have the ingredients to make an at-home dinner. The next event is Thanksgiving Day and is an in-person meal for any and all who need a place to eat. The PCDC says the event is no questions asked. It will be at the Columbia Senior Activity Center off Business Loop.
And what if I want to donate a turkey?
Well, their donation center is where the event was at today. That address is Parkade Plaza, Suite 204. That address is also on our website.
All right, thanks, Blake.